Welcome to this week's Canadian Whitetail Scouting segment. Locate, learn, set up, hunt. Brought to you by Muddy Outdoors.
Well, it's early September, the weather's gorgeous, the deer are moving, and in a lot of places in North America, season's already open. Most of the bucks have shed their velvet, but those deer are still moving in bachelor groups. One little tip when out scouting those deer, when you see the bucks in bachelor groups, more often than not, those deer like to hang out with other deer in that same age class. A lot of the younger bucks you'll find hanging out together, as well as a lot of the middle age and older age class bucks hanging out together. It's a lot like school. You don't see a lot of seniors wanting to hang around with kindergarten kids, and the deer are generally no different. There are times you might see an upper age class buck out with a younger bachelor group, but more often than not, that's in a field, and that can be a deceiving result because quite often that bachelor group of young bucks might be out feeding that field. That upper age class buck, he just hit that field as well. And you see them all together, and it looks like they're traveling together when it might not be the case. Chances are, if you look or you put up a stealth cam on the edge of the bush and you start watching where the deer are entering that field from, the younger bucks will kind of be grouped together and the older bucks will be grouped together. So you want to focus on where those more mature bucks are hitting that field and where they're traveling together as well. Quite often this time of year, before the deer start to get too competitive, when you find one upper age class buck, you'll find the others in that area. With the exception to that being those extreme upper age class bucks. When they get into that 10, 11, 12-year-old range, deer that have actually lived that long, those bucks we find tend to be quite reclusive. When we watch those extreme upper age class bucks come out into a field even, they'll often feed away from the other deer. They often don't want anything to do with them, they just want to be by themselves. But just like that deer wanting to be alone, a deer in that extreme upper age class is also the exception. More often than not, we're targeting those deer that are 6, 7, 8 years old, and this time of year, they're going to be together. And that's your Canadian Whitetail Scouting segment for the week.
This week's Canadian Whitetail Scouting segment has been brought to you by Muddy Outdoors. Share your own muddy moment.